Right, so we've got some pretty sweet hardware upgrades this year with the new REDMAGIC 8 Pro. New CPU, new RAM, new storage, new cooling system, new display, and much more. If you like mobile gaming or just want to see how close to a gaming laptop in your pocket you can get, you'll want to see this. Okay, so right out the gate, with the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, we got a 37% boost in CPU performance over the last gen, along with a 42% boost on the GPU. It also brings us support for Wi-Fi 7, which we should start seeing a little bit more of sometime soon this year, hopefully. We also get either 12 or 16 gigs of the new super fast LPDDR5X RAM, and 256 or 512 gigs of storage running UFS 4.0, which was just launched this last August. Now, don't you worry, you sweet little heads. We'll get to the performance stats in just a second, but first, you gotta admire this new industrial design. We still got the power button and red game center slider on the right, volume rocker on the left, with stereo speakers top and bottom with a headphones jack, and of course, the right and left capacitive shoulder triggers. It's a lot more square this year with a flat aircraft grade aluminum frame, a thicker depth to fit this year's even bigger battery, and it comes in two colors. Well, actually one matte black, and then there's this void, which is what I have here with this kinda sorta see-through theme going on, along with a bunch of stamps, but some of those stamps actually light up with fully customizable RGB colors, which might not get you laid anytime soon, but still look pretty cool. And yes, they can act as your notification lights. And like past generations, Nubia showing off the cooling fan with RGB lighting as well, but this year they've made a big improvement by moving the air intake vent to the left side instead of on the back where your hand would easily cover it up, preventing the fan from doing its job. Speaking of the fan doing its job, Nubia's upgraded the 8 Pro's cooling system to ICE 11.0, which includes a new 20,000 milliamp hour RPM fan, a dual layer vapor chamber cooling plate, and a big ol' sheet of graphene under the display to spread and dissipate heat better. And running 3D Mark's Wildlife Extreme Stress Test, the scores are huge. Hands down the best performing phone on the market right now by a very large margin. Now, with the fan off, temperatures reached between 33 and 45 degrees Celsius, which is the magic number apparently to kick on the thermal throttling to maintain that 45 degrees. But with the fan on, it dropped to between 25 to 40 degrees. So about 5 degrees of headroom before it starts throttling, which means we get consistently sustained high frame rates with zero stutters. Thank you very much. And with Geekbench, again, super high scores, with only the yet to be launched OnePlus 11 beating out this phone in multi-core performance only. Of course, gaming performance is completely flawless. Like, there's nothing on the Play Store you can download that'll slow this phone down even a little. And when gaming, we still get that slew of REDMAGIC software gaming features. So a simple in-game double swipe will bring up the menu where you can adjust, the refresh rate, the performance mode, enable or disable the fan, record gameplay, and a ton more stuff, including the right and left shoulder triggers that you can customize to do all sorts of things. And with that new 6.8-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display, images look bloody awesome. It supports 120Hz refresh rate with a peak brightness of 1300 nits, which is bright as hell, and with a 10-bit panel, we get 100% DCI-P3 color gamut. But with the under-display camera, along with even thinner bezels than last year, we got a crazy 93.7% screen-to-body ratio, which makes gaming and watching content just that much more immersive. Like, this is one sweet display. My only issue, and it's not really with the display, is the optical fingerprint reader. It's just inaccurate. Of course, it's working flawlessly in the B-roll you're seeing on screen right now, but I promise you that hasn't been my usual experience with it. I guess your mileage may vary. Anyways, the 8 Pro comes with 6,000 milliamp hours of battery, which gave me a bit over 7.5 hours of screen on time with mixed usage, and I still had about 20% left, so that's pretty good. We also got a 65-watt charger in the box that'll charge the battery from 0 to full in under 45 minutes, which is also pretty sweet. Unfortunately, there's still no wireless charging, despite being a bit of a thicker boy. Now, before we get to the rest, I need to do a quick plug for this video's sponsor, Epidemic Sound. Over the years, I've been asked many times where I get all the music for my videos, and it's been from Epidemic Sound. As a content creator, I know how important it is to have the right music and sound effects for my videos to create that subliminal mood I'm after for each video, and Epidemic Sound has this huge library of over 35,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects to choose from. Actually, it's where I get that whoosh sound from when I speed ramp the slow-mo clips in some of my videos. videos. And with Epidemic Sound, I never have to worry about copyright strikes or takedowns, which is super important. So I'm allowed to monetize my videos and can count on them staying monetized. But what's sweet is you can try Epidemic Sound for free for 30 days. Just click the link in the description to sign up and you'll get access to the entire music library. And everything you post during your trial is protected, even if you cancel. So if you're a content creator, give Epidemic Sound a try and give your content some mood. Now on the back, we've got 3 cameras, a standard wide 50 megapixel that bins down to 12.5 megapixels, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a useless 2 megapixel macro. I don't know why they keep adding it. Honestly, I expected the photos to look pretty bland and underwhelming, but aside from a bit of work needed on exposure, images actually look pretty good. Decent dynamic range, good colors. Yeah, man, I ain't complaining. Now, the front-facing 16 megapixel Gen 2 under-display camera is super duper hard to see unless you're looking at a bright white background and tilt it. And personally, I love this tech regardless of how new and unperfected it is. It's really futuristic. But how are the photos? Well, not great, but they're better than last year's. So I took a bunch of selfies while turning in place to see how it handled direct lighting on skin tones at different angles, and yeah, highlights can get blown out and everything just looks completely overprocessed, but selfies look miles better than before. For video, it supports up to 8K at 30p and 4K at 60p, and I'd like to say that video looks good too, but exposure is pretty janky with the shutter speed noticeably stepping up and down depending on the scene. At least image stabilization looks okay. Now, the 8 Pro comes with Android 13, but still has that November security update from last year, so that makes me pretty nervous about future patches and updates moving forward. It also comes with the REDMAGIC OS 6.0 skin on top, and aside from all the usual personalization software settings, I wasn't able to find much on what's new with REDMAGIC OS 6.0, but I did find 2 new additions. The first is something called REDMAGIC Studio, which allows you to connect the phone to a TV or PC monitor and then connect a wireless gaming controller to the phone, technically turning the phone into a sort of mobile gaming console. And if your TV or PC monitor supports 120 Hz refresh rate, the phone will output games at 120 Hz too, so you're not missing out on anything there, which is pretty awesome. But you can also open and run a second game at the same time, but on different screens. So for example, you could have one game running on your TV and another game running on your phone's display, which is completely bonkers. And the second thing I found is probably the dumbest thing since the dedicated Bixby button on Samsung phones. It's called Mora, which is the new REDMAGIC mascot, I'm guessing. So you launch the Game Center with the slider, tap the little Mora icon, and you can do stupid things like interact with her with some pokes. You can stream games with her somehow. You can add her to your desktop, have her give you a low battery warning, and a few other things. I honestly have no clue what the point is. Like, it's gotta be the stupidest gimmick I've ever seen added to a phone. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. But yeah, that's the REDMAGIC 8 Pro. Super nice display, awesome battery life, industry-leading performance. Some people might argue that it's completely overkill, and they're probably right, but so are Bugattis. And if I could afford one, you bet your ass I'd buy one. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's gonna do it for this one. Make sure you subscribe, otherwise you'll miss out on my next video, but thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Cheers.